Yo, 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 traders, how are we? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome back to Simply Forex. Hope you are all well. Before we get started today, I've got a couple of stipulations I would like to make. Firstly, I hate the pound. Yes, my mother currency I bloody dislike at the moment, and I'll explain why. Pound New Zealand dollar has been killing me all week. We have had a winning trade in amongst the bad trades, but yeah, as always, guys, we'll show you both winners and losers. So we hate the pound. My second stipulation is I am in the Philippines, so if you can hear the wind and the rain, like I'm inside, but the wind and the rain is crazy, I must say. I thought I'd come here, get a lovely, tan, and it's just been peeing with rain pretty much for 2 days solid. So there you go, guys. And I'm also pretty much in the sticks, so I'm not too sure about the internet, but so far so good. And I've got my new little setup, got my mic, got my light, ready to go. What else does YouTube need? So there you go, guys. Yeah, so if I just cut out, you know why, or I've been swept away by the wind and rain. Anyway, enough about all that, guys. How is everyone? Remember, next 45 minutes is your opportunity to ask as many questions as you like. It can be about the Philippines. It can be about trading. It can be about whatever you like, guys. All right? So get your questions over to me. Come say hello. Don't be shy. Like I say, we're also going to show you the trades that I've taken, and like I say, been getting killed by the pound this week, and we'll try and understand why. And also, guys, what we're going to do, which I enjoy myself, I hope you do too, is we are going to have a general knowledge quiz as we go through the show. And, by the end of the show, we'll do question 10. So stay for the 10 questions, guys, right? And whoever answers the most questions correct will win a 5K funded challenge courtesy of Blueberry Funded, our prop firm partner. So if that all sounds like a plan, guys, let's get started. I've got the quiz from my old friend ChatGPT. So if it's a crap quiz, blame him or her, however you refer to ChatGPT, or an it. Got to be careful with your pronouns these days. Right, guys. Okay, so let's just see who's in the house. Luigi, how are you? Lily, the lady with the questions, how are you? Brett, how are you, mate? Any actually won our last quiz, and she had a 5K challenge courtesy of Blueberry Funded. Any is living proof of this. So there you go, guys. Hi. Now, let's start with my trades and how horribly it's been going this week, to be quite honest, right? Now, pound New Zealand dollar. Let's start with the weekly chart. Right, so if we go to the weekly chart, right, we was in this uptrend, right, and we still haven't broken these lows, but ever since then, right, we've just been in a range pretty much, right? So in a range, and we started to move below the moving average 20, right, and look at this humongously red, bearish, bad boy of a candle, right? That is frigging bearish. So, the thinking behind this trade was just take it down to the bottom of the range. You can see where my blue line is. That's my target, back down to these lows in here, right? So the weekly made sense to me. And then if we drop down to the daily, right, the last 2 days have made sense to me. So if I go back here, first of all, right, so if you look at this trade, guys, right, so we was, if we just plot structure, we were basically here, started to get lower highs, lower lows, right? We're in a downtrend. We've got this room to move into. The weekly was super bearish. The daily is super bearish, right? I wanted to sell it. So I sold it, okay? So that was my trade on Monday. And then I traded it again today because I'm a sucker for punishment. But it wasn't even that, guys. It was just that I had another setup. So I took it, right? And if I go to real time now, you can see we had this candle as well. That is a massive rejection wick. Look at the size of that wick. Look at the wick on it, right? That is telling me to sell as well, right? But I'm going to show you my trades now. So the first one was a H4 trade, right? I'll zoom in a little bit in a minute. Okay, so you can see here we was in this downtrend. H4 was coming down. It got back to this level. So it was horizontal resistance and we had this trend line, right? I was licking my lips. I was like, right, let's get into this trade. So I just entered. I didn't wait for a bearish reaction. And, you know, that's the pros and cons of not waiting for a reaction. If you get a bearish reaction at this level, right, then it lets you know sellers have taken over, but you generally get in at a worse price, right? Whereas if I just hit this level and start selling here, and then the next candle is a massive bearish candle like this, then all of a sudden I'm a genius, right? So, you know, pros and cons, right? As you can see, it didn't do that and it just shot off. But the frustrating thing here is if I go to the H1 now, so I said to myself, right, I'll get in here, okay, and then I'll just see what the H4 candle does, right? And then, you know, my stop was up here. You know, I was thinking I would have some time in here somewhere to perhaps make a decision, right? But look at the next candle. Just bang, took me out. There was so much strength in the pound on Monday. Okay. And then we saw all of this weakness. Okay. And my second trade was basically a H1 continuation of trend. So you've got to bear in mind, guys, we had this massively big bearish wick, right? And then if we go down to the H1, this is basically this big daily bearish wick. And then I said to myself, if we break this area of support here, right, I will get into the trade. So we broke it. I got a slight retrace, you know, a continuation of a H1 trend. I started selling, stops up here, you know, wanted to take price down to here. And again, you know, sometimes if the trade isn't going in your favor, which this clearly didn't, you know, you have some time to perhaps close the trade early, you know, or, you know, you have some time to ponder your next move, right? But this was just like, kapow, you're out of the trade. Just like this one, kapow, you're out of the trade. So that is why I bloody dislike pound. I'm going to get all my pounds and bloody burn them. Okay. It's a good job I've got dirhams. That is the currency of Dubai. Right, guys, what we're going to do now is our first quiz question. Remember, there's going to be 10 throughout this live stream. We might even do the first 2 questions, actually. So, and also, guys, I will look at all of your questions. So we've got Dank wants to look at Euro Pound, HD, hello. And Lily was in the Pound New Zealand trade too. Okay, Lily, I'm glad I wasn't alone. I've been getting killed by this pair. But yeah, look, guys, you're going to have them kind of weeks, yeah? Don't sweat it. Keep trading your system. You know, things will turn around. Right, so who's ready for our first 2 quiz questions? Remember, if the person who gets the most answers correct wins. if there's two people that get all of the answers correct, which is possible, you're an intelligent bunch, because you're watching this live stream. See what I did there? Then whoever answers the quickest. So my first question, fingers at the ready, answer in the live chat. Which ancient civilization built the Machu Picchu complex in Peru? While you answer, I will have a drink. So guys, anyone? Would you like to hear the question again? Which ancient civilization built the Machu Picchu complex in Peru? Okay. Hi, Niraj. Okay, I'm going to give 1 point to Brett and 1 point to Annie. Hi, Lucky. It was indeed the Inca civilization. Okay, and I'm going to keep a rough score, guys. All right. Number two, question number 2 in the quiz. If you've just turned in, you haven't gone mental. We are doing a little quiz as part of our trading show. Number 2, what is the rarest blood type in the world? It's okay, Luigi. It's okay to be wrong. No problem. Can you get this one correct? What is the rarest blood type in the world? Don't be shy, guys. Give me your answers. No using Google. If you use Google, I'm going to send my pet dog round and he will bite your ankles. Okay. So we got Brett is AB, Niraj is AB, anonymous user is AB. I'll be honest with you guys, I've never heard of this blood type. Obviously, I've got the answers in front of me. I'm playing along as well, and I've got 100% so far. I'm only joking. I haven't heard of this. AB negative. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop you there because I've never heard of it, right? So the rarest blood type in the world is called RH null, sometimes referred to as golden blood. So if you've got golden blood, well, I was going to say lucky you, but it's probably a bad thing if you ever need a blood transfusion. Shouldn't laugh. So there you go, RH null. So those are the first 2 quiz questions, guys. I've got the scores. Brett and Annie, you have a point each. Right, back to some trading questions, because we did have a question here from Dank. So Dank asks, good afternoon, Tom. What is happening with Euro Pound? Okay, we'll take a look at Euro Pound right now. Before I do, guys, if I can just ask everyone to please subscribe to the channel, please smash the notification button, and please smash the like button right now. Merci beaucoup. I'm going to have a quick drink. Also, guys, if you haven't already, please come join our trading community. We have the free Discord. It's totally free to join. The links are all below in the live chat. Brett has added them below. And you can join our community, speak to like-minded traders. We've got some great traders in there sharing trade, sharing knowledge. So come join us. Also, guys, if you want access to all of our premium trading education, including our course, including the VIP Trading Academy, including my mentorship program where I coach you one-on-one, and our newest addition is our Price Action 101 indicator. We are so proud of this bad boy. It's basically trading how I trade, right? And it's producing some better results. In fact, this week it's traded better than me, right? So we're going to get rid of it. No, I'm only joking. So guys, check out that as well. It's a great indicator we've created. Also, guys, yeah, that's all on the website, www.simply-forex.com. Also, guys, on what was I going to say? Yeah, also, today's live stream is brought to you by Pepperstone. So if you join Pepperstone right now, they will give you free access to our VIP Trading Academy, and they will give you a free Trading View subscription, right? What is not to like? Just click on the QR code on the screen, use our link, and you'll get free VIP and the free Trading View Essential subscription. No brainer. Why has my screen gone darker, or have my eyes gone funny? I don't know. Let me just check the battery here. Okay. Right. The only problem here is, guys, I'm going to have to plug. Bear with me, guys, because I'm in the Philippines and this is my new setup. So please bear with me. I just need to do something very quickly. Right. Now you can't see me at all, but don't worry. We're going to carry on anyway. Yeah. It's my first live stream since arriving in the Philippines, guys. I'm here for 5 weeks, but you can kind of see me. Let's carry on. Yeah, I look better in the dark anyway. Right, let's have a look at Euro Pound, because Dank was wanting to look at Euro Pound. And you haven't tuned in to see my face. You're tuned in to see the charts anyway. So just Pound at the moment, Dank, is ballistic, right? It's super strong, super weak, super strong, super weak. You know, it's crazy at the moment. Now, if you look at the weekly chart, right, I always do a top-down approach. You can see we were in this uptrend and it managed to get all the way back up to these highs, right? In actual fact, that candle breaks these highs here, right? But right, I don't want to start buying this up here. And obviously we've had such a bearish reaction, and Euro this week has seen some real weakness, right? We've seen some real weakness in the Euro. So, even if you take this candle away, right? Even if this big red candle here was taken away, I still don't want to buy this. There's no value in the market, right? Super overextended, okay? Now, if we go back to the daily chart now, right, I would be more interested in a structure break, really, okay? So if we get something like this, right, we're at this big weekly resistance level. If we end up getting something like this, I would be interested in selling Euro Pound, right? We've seen that Euro weakness come into the market. So I would be more interested in that because things are so overextended and this is weekly resistance. Now, you've got this level here. I mean, you could get a nice, let's say we get a bullish candle bounce off this level. Would I be interested in buying it? Maybe, right? Maybe just, maybe up to here if the H4 sets up nicely. But I wouldn't take it any further than this. Right, so I would have to get some value. So yeah, that's a possibility, right? But right now, just a bearish reaction we're getting. I'll be more interested in a structure break. So it's going to be really interesting to see how price reacts at this level. Yeah, and if we drop down to the H4 now, yeah, you can see we're at this level, and just look at Pound at the moment, right? I mean, you're thinking, right, Euro strength, bang. But yeah, we're at this level. So I'm not interested in doing anything at the moment. Let's see how Euro Pound acts at this level, guys, all right? So stay out of it. I want to see a break. I'll be interested. Or I want to see potentially something like this and we get a break on the H4, and I potentially take it back up to this level here. Yeah, but nothing right now is interesting me. And to be honest with you, the pound is my nemesis this week. Yeah, you know, I'm only joking, guys. I don't build up this, you know, a feeling about pairs. You know, I next week I will forget what happened about the pound, right? But this week, yeah, it's been kicking my ass, unfortunately. Right, what else are we looking at, guys? Let's say hello to a few people in the house. Who haven't I said hello to? Okay, so Lucky wants to look at US dollar. Okay, and we've got a few people wanting to look at gold as well. Coffee. Okay, Brett, we can take a look at that. Okay, so we've got some questions coming in. Great, let's go through them. So let's start with Lucky. And Lucky, are you generally quite lucky? I hope so, with a name like that. And it's better than being called unlucky. Just saying. Right, is US dollar, CAD and oil decoupled? All right, that's an interesting question. So much so I need a drink. So, first of all, just so everyone knows, right? If we look at oil, okay, now I quite like oil for a trade, actually, right? But it's just so geopolitically buggered at the moment. I think that's the technical term, right? But it's a really good question from Lucky, right? Now, if oil is strong, right, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, then Canadian dollar, which, you know, Canada is a massive exporter of oil, right? So if oil is strong, looks like a little face I've done there. It looks like the LG logo or something. Anyway, oil is strong, Canadian dollar is strong. So if you think about oil against the US dollar, Canadian dollar, right? If oil is strong, right, then US dollar, Canadian dollar should be going lower on this CAD strength, right? So let's look at that. Let's compare the H4 to see if they have decoupled. And all correlations decouple from time to time, right? They do, right? But generally speaking, over the long term, they will be, you know, pretty highly correlated, right? So US dollar, Canadian dollar, and oil. So if oil is doing this, right, which it is right now on the chart, then as soon as I flick to US dollar, Canadian dollar, it should be doing this, right? So let's do that. Let's go to US dollar, Canadian dollar, and it is doing exactly the opposite, right? It's doing exactly the opposite. So yes, in a word, yes, I wouldn't say they've decoupled, but the correlation is broken, right? It's broken at the moment. And it's really interesting because actually there's a few things that are broken at the moment. And I'm going to show you another correlation that's interesting right now. So that oil Canadian dollar correlation you need to be aware of. But like you say, Lucky, it feels like it's a little bit, correlation is broken at the moment, right? Another correlation that's broke, right? If you look at the indices, right, we know that these are flying, right? This is the NASDAQ. Let's look at the day chart, right? This is the NASDAQ. So when the economy, which is basically what the NAS tells you, it tells you how well the economy is doing, indices in general. When the index is doing well, yen, right, does crap. And gold does crap. We use all the high-tech terminology on this show, guys, right? So yen and gold should be crap and weak. Okay, now, this is true. So if you think about US dollar, Japanese yen, right? This should be flying. Okay. So US dollar yen should be flying. So we'll take a look at that in a sec. Well, let's take a look at that right now. So let's quickly go to US dollar yen. And as you can see, right, can you hear that rain and wind? I'm in the Philippines, guys, just in case you're wondering why there's a silhouette of me. I can't be bothered to explain why, but there will be light tomorrow. There was light. What's the saying? I don't know. Anyway, so this correlation is good. Yen is weak, right? And it has been for some time. Okay. Now we are going to get rid of this and we are going to focus on gold, right? Because this is the correlation that's broken. So if we go back to the NASDAQ, this yen and NASDAQ correlation isn't broken. That's all good. Now, gold should be weak because the indices are in such good state, right? But if we look at gold now, right, let's get rid of these arrows. If we look at gold now, where are you? Right, okay, it is a little bit weak right now, to be fair. But ultimately, this has been just in a massive uptrend, right? If we go to the daily, this is the daily, right? This has been in a big uptrend. It's only now, so going back to your point, Lucky, right? You could argue, well, not argue, at this point, the correlation between gold as a flight to safety and the indices is broken. But now it's looking like the correlation has come back into some kind of sync. Yeah, because this is just storming down now. So gold, in fact, for the last month has been weak, right? As the indices keep flying up. So you can see how gold fell out of correlation and now it's back into some kind of correlation. And why we are on gold. So yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Lucky. Correlations will break, right? But now this leads nicely into gold, right? Where are we? Yeah, so CSD wanted to look at gold. And we have just had an interesting break of a trend line. So this is the daily chart, right? Started down here. You can see this trend line was kept being obeyed, right? We know up here is a big weekly resistance level, and we'll look at the weekly shortly. And then I basically said to myself, if price breaks this trend line, I would be interested in selling gold, right? Because if we look at the weekly, this level is proving to be strong resistance. Every time the market gets here, sellers kick in, and they kick in big time, right? So much so, look at that big bearish wick. Okay, so I'm interested in selling gold at the moment, right? But the problem here is I'm not interested in selling on that candle because we're at support. But if we get a pullback, maybe into the trend line, maybe into the moving average 20, maybe even up to this resistance level, right? Somewhere in this vicinity, if we get a nice big bearish candle form here, right, I will be interested in selling back down to these lows here. You know, potentially it has room to go further back down to these lows. So gold's an interesting one right now. I'm not interested in selling it right now, but I think the only trade I am interested in is selling gold. Yeah, so there you go, guys. So that's gold. What else do we want to look at? We've got some, so I hope that helps. CSD. Got a question here from Irankunda Prince. Hey, Tom, what platform do you use to enter the trades? I use Meta4. So, yeah, not Meta5 or TradingView. I use Meta4. I'm actually with Axie Brokerage. Right, what else are we looking at? Okay, so we've got gold. Okay, so we've got another question here from Brett. What's coffee looking like, please, Tom? I meant the chart, not what you're drinking. Brett, you know I only drink neat vodka when I trade. Don't do that at home, kids. It's not smart. Right, bear with me a second. I'm going to get some light back on. 1 sec. Ta-da! Christ, that's bright. Right, now it's just incredibly bright. There we go. Unfortunately for you, you can see me again. Coffee. Okay, let's take a look at coffee. I like looking at charts I don't normally look at. Which one should we look at? Okay. So let's take a look at coffee, and it's good for us to look at a chart that I don't normally look at, guys, right? Because we can understand how I, analyze a chart from a price action point of view, and maybe you can take some pointers away as well. Just straight away, I've pinpointed a lovely sell if it gets to it, right? This is the lovely sell that I have seen. Right, so we have a level through here, right? A lovely level. Resistance, support, support. Could it be resistance again? Okay, quite possibly. Right, we've also got, I've been drawing more and more trend lines in with my trading, guys, right? We've also got a bit of a trend line down here. Okay. Right. So, and we've got the moving average 20 coming round as well. So I know we're not there, but if coffee gets up to this level in here, I would be very much interested in selling it. Very, very interested. That's a really nice setup. Okay. But, right, we're nowhere near it yet. So what do we want to do with this? So that there's, realistically, this is the only next level of support, guys, in here. Right? What is happening with my... Guys, I apologize. 1 second. Okay. Back into the darkness. Yeah, so coffee, right? So, we're in a downtrend. So let's look at the weekly. We're in this downtrend. Okay. And if we look at, and it's a tricky one because we haven't quite made it down to this level. And you can see we're starting to get bullish candles build up. So this is telling me price could potentially push to this level, right? Just from these candles. So we're in a little bit of no man's land here, right? I don't want to sell it, although we're in a downtrend because of, these are bullish candles. And I don't want to buy it because, we're in this downtrend. But let's take a look at the day chart now as well. Yeah, and the day chart is still in a downtrend, right? If we just follow it here, this is where we're at so far. So 2 things are going to happen here, or possibly can happen, right? This, you can see this level here. Now, it's a level you can't ignore, right? Is it potentially a new higher low, right? The problem is we don't have a higher high. We would need to break this level. So if we got price action that looked like this, right, and we broke this level, I would be very much interested in buying coffee back up to here, right? Alternatively, if we broke this low and price come down, I think we have a little bit more room to come down, you know, back into this grey support level. But right now, I'm not really interested in trading it in between here. So yeah, that's what I would wait for on coffee for me to take a trade. Either way, guys. Yeah, all right. So there you go. Coffee. Don't look at coffee every day. I drink a lot of it, but don't necessarily trade it. The good Lord said, "Let there be light," and just as quickly he took it back. Like I say, guys, I'm currently in the Philippines and I'm here for 5 weeks. Yeah, just trading as usual. I've tried to get the best internet money can buy, but I will sort out the light situation tomorrow. There's a funny socket you don't need to know. That's boring. Right. Let's ask more of our general knowledge questions right now, guys. Remember, whoever answers the most correctly will win a 5K funded challenge courtesy of Blueberry Funded. Right. Next few questions. Okay, I'm gonna ignore number 3. It's too easy. So we're only going to have 9 questions. What was the first country to grant women the right to vote? Okay, so everyone right now, which country was the first to grant women the right to vote? Lucky, I had to share this. Nah, man, getting slapped around in trading and life. Lucky, it happens to us all, mate. We all get slapped around a bit from time to time. I've been slapped around by the pound all week, and also been in torrential rain in the Philippines. Right. Okay, so we've got some answers in. Okay, 1 point goes to Niraj. It was, in fact, New Zealand. Correct, Niraj. Next quiz question. Too easy. This might be less than 10 questions. Okay, this is the next question. This is an interesting one. What is the longest running television show in the United States? So what is the longest? No Google. If anyone's Googling, we will break your fingers. We won't do that. That's far too unnecessary. Yeah, so what is the longest running television show in the United States? Okay, we've got a couple people in with their answers. Anyone else? Anyone else, guys? Don't be shy. Okay, point to Brett and point to Sir Subrosa. It was The Simpsons, correct. Okay, all right, we'll do a couple more questions in a minute, guys. Right, what else is anyone looking at? Okay, so we've done gold. So guys, yeah, also don't be afraid to get your trading questions over to me. And remember, it doesn't have to be about a currency pair. It can be to do with anything about trading. What am I looking at right now? Yeah, I'm still in a CAD yen trade, right? Let's see how this does. Yeah, we've still got another 20 minutes to see how this H4 candle goes. This is the CAD yen trade that I'm actually in, guys, right? So you can see I've got an alarm in here. If it starts breaking this level, I'm just going to close the trade early, right? I'm just going to close it early and take a small loss, right? Because this is 1%. If I let it hit stop loss, so this would be something like 0.3%. So we'll see. I might close this trade early. I'm still in this, but you know, currently it's looking all right, okay? Because we're still in this H4 uptrend. We're, you know, bouncing off the river. Sorry, that's Brett, that's your fault. It's bouncing off the moving average 20, right? And there's still potentially room all the way back up to here and these daily highs. Right, we had a lot of indecision, bullish candle, right? Can we take it back up to these highs? So I'm in this trade, guys. And remember, if you want all of my trades as and when I take them, please go check out our VIP Trading Academy. And right now, you can get free entry into our VIP Trading Academy if you sign up with Pepperstone, who are sponsoring today's live stream. Just use the QR code and you'll also get a free TradingView subscription as well. What else am I looking at? That's about it, guys. Right, I was looking at US dollar CAD and US dollar yen buys. Let's see how they're doing. But yeah, I mean, they sort of all hit target now, really. Pound New Zealand dollar. It keeps reeling me in. Yeah, stay away from the pound. I was also looking at Aussie dollar Swiss franc buys and New Zealand dollar Swiss franc buys. You can see where I wanted price to come back to. Let's have a look at the H1. Okay, didn't quite come back. Let's have a look at New Zealand dollar Swiss franc. Yeah, I was looking for a deeper pullback. You could see this trend line. I was looking for a pullback into here. If we got that, guys, I would have very much entered New Zealand dollar Swiss franc. Yeah, that's about it, guys, really. Pound US dollar sells was a trade idea, but it's kind of left the building a bit. I wanted a pullback. You know, we just haven't had a pullback on pound US dollar, right? Just keep shooting down. We're seeing lots of US dollar strength at the moment, right, across all pairs. You know, it had to kick in eventually. So yeah, nothing else I'm really looking at. I'm just still in that Canadian dollar yen trade. But what are you looking at, guys? Don't be shy. Come ask. Right, we're going to do one last general knowledge question. Remember, whoever is the winner will get a 5K funded challenge courtesy of Blueberry Funded. So, are you ready? These are the last couple of questions. Right, what is the name of the first artificial Earth satellite launched by the Soviet Union in 1957? Lily, I've just seen your question. We can look at sugar tomorrow. What do you think about sugar? I know you mean the chart, but it's almost like like a general question. What do you think about sugar? I like it. Correct, Brett. Sputnik. Not Orion. Okay, Niraj was in there with Sputnik. Looks about right, the spelling. Okay, so Niraj, Brett, you're pretty much neck and neck. We're going to do one last general knowledge question. Whoever gets this correct will win the 5K funded challenge. Okay, that's too easy. Okay, let's do this one. Which famous battle fought in 1815 marked the end of the Napoleonic Wars? Which famous battle fought in 1815 marked the end of the Napoleonic Wars? And guys, if you've enjoyed the trading and live trading and analysis, then great. But if you've also enjoyed the quiz, please let us know. We tried different things on our live streams just to freshen things up, and we'd always appreciate your feedback, guys. Okay, we've got some correct answers coming in. So Pooh Poppy, Tony Gold, and Niraj. You are all correct with Waterloo. And today's winner of the 5K challenge, funded challenge, courtesy of Blueberry Funded, is Niraj. Niraj, all you need to do is join our Discord community and contact, once you're in the free Discord community, then please contact Simply Forex or just ask a question in one of the rooms, and we will arrange a 5K funded challenge for you, Niraj. So you have won. Please come join the free Discord, get in contact with us, and yeah, away you go. You can just use the QR code on the screen. That's our free Discord. Right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, quiz and trading, two of my favorite things. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I will sort out the lighting issue. Bear with me. I'm in the Philippines for 5 weeks, but beautiful country. All right, guys, same time tomorrow. See you then. Adios, amigos.